Hello. This is my first ever knitting video-y, vloggy podcast thing. So we will see how we go. Bear with me. Um, Bear with the glare on my glasses. If it is annoying, I am sorry. If I take them off, I cannot see what I'm showing you. So anyway, I am Sarah, sometimes known as Sarah, sometimes known as Bella, sometimes known as Belle. For various reasons, which I'm sure one day I will explain to you further. Just realised my exercise mat is hanging up here, so yeah. So I am wife to Simon, my husband. I'm mum to Evie, my daughter, and doggy mum to our dog Sybil, who may be joining us, who may not join us. It's a sunny day, so she's got her bed outside. She's a sunbather, so that's probably where she is right now. The name of this that you may have seen is Pina Therapy, and I wanted to explain it a little bit because it has some, I don't know if you can see the flag here, some Norwegian roots. So Pina is a Norwegian word, and like many Norwegian words, it can mean different things. But both are relative to what I'm going to talk to you about and what I use knitting and things for. So pina can mean stick, as in the stick you find out in the woods. I live right next to a forest. And pina can also mean knitting needle. And I guess that stems from it would have been essentially your knitting sticks, your wooden knitting needles. Yeah, that explains the pina therapy, and I have used over my life, which I'll kind of get into, but it's kind of taken a bit of a crazy kind of turn in the last 5-ish years. So I use both those sticks, if you want to use that, as a way of therapy for myself. And I wanted to use this kind of platform to maybe help others who struggle with things, and how knitting and being outside generally can be used as a form of therapy to heal yourself, to just feel good. Just for a bit of context, I'm not Norwegian. My husband isn't Norwegian, although many think he looks actually more Icelandic than Norwegian. We lived in Norway for 3 years, 2017 to 2020. We came back literally as lockdown happened. Yeah, so a lot has happened. Also, I should tell you, I'm in the UK. I know this glorious weather. You wouldn't think I was British, but I am. And I live in a place called the Forest of Dean. If you have been here, you will have known it is one of the greatest places in the UK. I would suggest anyone come to visit the Forest of Dean. It is beautiful. We kind of straddle, so we're in Gloucestershire, but we straddle kind of almost the English Welsh border. From where we are here, we're like 10 minutes from the Welsh border. I actually work in Wales. So yeah, that's where I am. Sunny Forest of Dean, although Tuesday was not sunny. We had sideways hail and all sorts. So, but spring in the UK, you're more likely to get snow at Easter than you are at Christmas. So there we go. Briefly, what has happened in my life? And this is going to be brief. I will expand, I think, as I do more and more of these. And I am looking down because I have notes. Else this will just descend into absolute chaos, and tangents. So I'm trying to keep myself on some sort of, semblance of sanity. But anyway, I digress. So 5 years. We came back from Norway 2020. Obviously, like everybody, there was COVID, and everything was locked down. 2020 December, our lives completely flipped. In short, we nearly lost our daughter over the Christmas period. She was 6 at the time. She had an unknown heart condition, an incredibly rare and an incredibly rare and bad form. for want of a better word, cardiomyopathy, a double cardiomyopathy. And we were lucky to get her to come out of that, nothing short of miraculous. And then we found out she would need a heart transplant. And at that point, we were given 5 years maximum, basically, life expectancy. Obviously, I'm here and I'm joyful and whatever because our little girl, not so little anymore, she's 11 now, but in 2022, oh my gosh, my brain, yeah, 2022, spring, around this time, she was given the life-saving gift. And I'm not going to go into it now, but organ donation, talk to your family about organ donation. But anyway, given the amazing gift of a new heart. That was amazing. So she had a heart transplant then. My husband has suffered with childhood trauma and different kind of mental health issues, but as a consequence of what happened to our daughter, and I might talk about it in depth a bit more, but he, not right now, he received the lovely mental health condition of PTSD. So our lives have kind of been in a weird state of flux for the last 5 years, and there's been major ups, major downs for all of us, coping and living with trauma. These things don't go away, they kind of stay in your body, but you learn to kind of live with them in different ways. My husband has had a rough ride, really, and we're only really now starting to feel like kind of seeing some light. But anyway, I digress. The little doggy has she's wondering what I'm doing. So yes, I wanted to try and use this platform then to help others or just connect with others that have been through trauma or other things in life that have caused them, upset or difficulties. And knitting and nature have been, the two sticks have been absolutely core to my healing and keeping sane and just getting through times that were not great. So why am I doing, well, that is kind of why I'm doing, just literally told you why I'm doing the podcast. But I had the idea of trying to do it, and like many people, I was a bit like, who am I to, do one of these? And maybe it won't work out, and that's absolutely fine, but I'm fed up of kind of waiting, and I just want to give it a go. So I'm giving it a go. Bear with, like I said earlier. I actually went to last May, so the brilliant Claire and John of Bird Street Yarns. They're a Bristol-based indie dye kind of couple, but it's John that mainly dyes. Amazing yarn, by the way. I'll have to get some out that I have in stash that I've had for like 2-3 years. I just sniff all the time and I still can't decide what to make with it, but beautiful yarn. And they put on the Big Flock, so it was a Bristol-based knitting festival. It was amazing. It was their first year last year. They're doing it this year as well in May, and it was fabulous. Whilst I was there, I don't usually book on to courses and things. I'm just there for the sniffing and the touching and the buying of the wool. I noticed there was a brilliant young man, Martin from Knit 365, who was trialing, I believe his first ever class called Skein to Screen, and basically kind of giving advice about how to do this. So I think I was in his first ever class. At the time, my dad we didn't realize how bad it was going to get, but he was poorly in hospital with pancreatitis, and then it got as bad as pancreatitis gets. And if anybody knows that, it's a horrendously cruel disease to get, and we very nearly lost him several times during the summer last year. That's also what's happened as well in my life. My dad decided to be really poorly, so he went into hospital in like the end of April. This is wobbling because the dog has now decided to mess around by the bottom of this lovely little tripod. She's probably going to knock you over in a minute. Sybil, Excuse me. You come in. Come on in. You can jump. Excuse me. She can't jump suddenly. This is Sybil. She's got her ears down because she's happy because she's got up to see me. She's not going to want to stay up here because I've got no snacks or anything. I've got a tissue. She eats tissues. Right, I digress. This is what happens when the animal invades. So anyway, my dad ended up getting really poorly. He went into hospital at the end of the April, didn't come out and come home till the beginning of December. It was a long old haul. We spent 2 months on ICU. He had to have tracheostomy and everything. He was bad. Luckily, again, by some miraculous miracle, he is now home and rehabbing and great and whatever. So obviously trying to do this last year when I planned to do it was not going to happen because just life was against me and I was in no headspace or time space to be able to do it. So now is the time. I'm just going to do it. And I realised she's sitting in all my stuff. I'm going to show you now. What are you doing? Excuse me. She's very needy. So I'm going to keep it to the kind of standard format of knitting podcasts, although I have 2 editions. So my first edition will be a moment of help, a moment of aid, a Red Cross moment. I don't know if you can think of a better kind of little catchphrase for it. Be my guest, send suggestions. This is where I'll bring in my kind of what I've learned and read and experienced about being outside, moving my body, generally doing things that have helped me. So just like a little tidbit of you for you to kind of help you. She's pleasing me now. I don't know what she's asking for. We taught her to say please by going, she breathed in. Well, she started doing it and then we rewarded it by her, that was her asking for things nicely. Now she just asks for things all the time. I'm trying to do a podcast. Okay, but I don't know what you want from me. Can I do this? No. Her ears are up now. So, yes. So that was my one edition. My other edition is a hoe. A historical object. Because if you've been knitting long enough, and I feel like I've been knitting long enough, although sometimes when I see other people's projects and the things they knit and the speed they knit, I'm like, oh my God, have I only been knitting like 2 years or something, or a year? Because those guys are like fast and advanced. But we're all on our own journey, so it's fine. So my hoe, my historical object, will be something that I pull out. Sometimes it'll be quite meaningful because I've used knitting throughout all these hospital things and stuff like that. So sometimes they have real significant meanings. Sometimes they're just a fun knit that I've really enjoyed or liked, or I think I'm going to share a pattern or blah, 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 blah. So I think we should just start. I'm going to start with my historical object today, although I might put it last, or I don't know, whatever, but we're starting with it today. One thing you need to know about me and knitting, yes, is that I'm always knitting socks. Why? But I'm talking about my socks. I don't know what you want me to give you. It's because she thinks that she's like not getting the attention. It's fine. Stop being such a... Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I've always got socks on. And I don't ever knit lavish or difficult socks. They're usually vanilla socks. For me, they are an absolute go-to. Chuck them in any bag, chuck them on my wrist. I.e., when you've got your thing, you chuck your... There we go. Out the door. Gone. Got something in case. I always have not always, but most of the time, 2 pairs of socks on the go. One is always my emergency car knitting. Who else has emergency knitting? I always have emergency car knitting in case you get stuck somewhere, like, you know, when kids are at clubs and stuff like that, or you arrive to work early and you've got 15 minutes, do a couple of rounds. Because what else are you going to do? So, emergency car knitting socks. I will show you those another time. I know for a fact they're an Arne and Carlos ball of sock, just standard. I think it's been in stash for ages, and I was just like, I need to knit with this now. So those are in the car. Anyway, these are my hoe. So these have a very significant meaning to me. So if the light's crap, I'm sorry. I'm learning. So these are just a vanilla sock. Don't look too closely because I've worn them and haven't washed them yet. These are some of my favourite socks. So the wool is West Yorkshire Spinners. If anyone knows, they did a whole, or do a whole bird range. This is obviously the robin, I've just told you. I think the colours are beautiful. They play to my autumnal kind of aesthetics that I'm kind of in most of the time if I can get away with it. They are vanilla sock. I did bring, just in case anyone doesn't know, so many things. The dog is on the tripod again. So same thing. So it's West Yorkshire Spinners, 4-ply. It's just a standard 75 wool, 25% nylon. I mean, this gives you a 3.25. I knit on a 2.25. I think most people kind of, and I knit on standard, these standard Knit Pros. Those are not my standard Knit Pros. I get that. You know, the little gold ones, lovely little needles. I knit quite tight. So sometimes I try doing it with bamboo or wooden knitting needles, but I do knit quite tight, so I need a slippery thing. Anyway, these are super significant for me because when my daughter, we knew she needed a heart transplant, and the nature of that is that things happen quickly. So much like having a hospital bag when you're expecting a baby, we had a go bag or go suitcase that was, when they call, it's a matter of hours. It could be a couple of hours, it could be 24 hours, but everything happens within hours. It's very quick. I'm not sure why, but the nature of it is that usually a lot of the time you get called in the middle of the night. So I think our phone rang at 3 o'clock in the morning when we got the call for her transplant. So you have to have a bag that's just ready to go. And then obviously, depending on how things go, you are at the hospital. So here in the UK, there's 2 main places. There's, I can't remember what the hospital is called, but there's one based in Newcastle. And then obviously there's the world-renowned Great Ormond Street, which is where Evie had her transplant. So anyway, obviously being a knitter and packing that bag, the first, maybe not the first thing, but one of the first things, probably was, what am I going to put in the bag to take with me? So I've got emergency knitting, necessary knitting to take and start when we're there. So I knew instantly, I showed you it already, I packed my favourite, this is my favourite knitting, sock knitting bag. I have ducks, they live at my parents' house. Thank you, parents. So I love this. Please don't judge any of my knitting bags because they're all really dirty. Because I take them everywhere with me, they're well loved. So it's got ducks. It's also got some of my favourite pins on here. I don't know if you want to know, everyone knows Chip. This is a nuthatch bird, one of my favourite birds. This is a Highland cow, love a Highland cow. In this house, I'm also known as the brown cow, something my daughter called me when she was really little, and the husband's never let it go. A Passat, a Volkswagen Passat is what I drive. I have driven for a long time. I like them. They're good for going to the tip, and they go like the stink. Husband thought that was funny. Moomin, love a Moomin. Who doesn't love a Moomin? The dog kind of looks like a Moomin. We love Moomins. And this actually we got when we were there. This is a Great Ormond Street kind of logo. So this is on there. But that went on there when I was there. So this is my favourite knitting bag. And it's by So Beautiful by Nicola. I think I'm not sure where I picked it up or if it was an Etsy buy, but my favourite bag. So I knew I'd be knitting socks. I actually had already bought this. Had I already bought this ball, or I bought it? I can't remember. Brain just forgets things. So this was what I decided to pack. Now, for me, robins, for many people, they have many different connotations and myths and legends surrounded by them. I'm a big Christmas girl, so obviously they are lovely and kind of synonymous with Christmas. They also kind of that new beginnings. They sing beautifully all year round, really. I've always considered them to be one of those. There's also one of those. I don't know if it's in other countries or just here. There's always one of those myths of like when you lose a loved one, like the soul kind of moves on into a robin. There's just this thing about. But anyway, so when I'm out and I get a particular robin that's kind of really close, or you know when they just look you dead in the face. I'm sorry, she is playing now and destroying things. So the dog is literally trying to take over this podcast. I do apologize. But anyway, so I packed this knowing that I was going to knit this on, and robins feel like a new beginning. They mark the new beginning of a day, and for us, it was marking the new beginning. For our daughter, it was a new chance at life. Literally, in my head, I'm going, don't be so dramatic, but that is factually what it was. Without this heart transplant, she had very limited life left. So this was her new beginning of being able to live relatively normally for however long. And for us as a family, it was the end of that waiting and the start of the new beginning. And I remember getting this out. It wasn't the day we were there. It was very long. It was very traumatic for Evie with lots of tests, this, that, and the other. And we'd actually had a call in the September before, and that hadn't worked out. And so it was all quite stressful. And then she went down late at night for the operation, which obviously lasted throughout the night. But we were called earlier than we thought, actually, about 6 a.m. to say everything had gone to plan. More so, it was so good they got it done quicker than they thought they had. She was doing great. She was on ICU. We can go see her. And I remember we hadn't got like our accommodation properly sorted or anything like that, which luckily Great Ormond Street sort out for you, which is absolutely amazing. And I remember taking my knitting bag, sitting next to my daughter who was on ICU. If you've been on ICU, there's just everything is on and beeping. And I cast on these socks. And actually, we were there for a relatively short amount of time. I'll tell you that another time. But I actually finished them at home because we were there for such a shorter time, really. And I was obviously knitting on other things as well. But so these are my new beginning. Everything that what I'm going to talk about on these podcasts means to me. It's the knitting that brought me calm and joy. Literally, this is the knitting story of our new beginning as a family, her new beginning as a person with a new heart. And the connection to nature, because at the time we were in London, and as much as people love London, I cannot stand it. The nature depletion for me, and I am spoiled because I live in a forest, but it's just really hard. So the robins were with me. So yeah, this is my home, vanilla sock on a 2.5. I think they are a 64 stitch sock. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. So that's my hoe for this week. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee. Colombo, do you love, you must love. Okay. So, finished objects. This is something I have wanted to knit for a very long time. As in, I found this pattern and then saw somebody wearing, obviously, one they had made at a knitting festival in Norway when we lived there. Bear in mind, we went there in 2017, so this must have been like 2018, 2019, something like that. Seems like yesterday to me, but it's obviously not. So I've been waiting to knit it for a very long time. And yeah, I'm just going to show you. I haven't blocked it. I finished this like 3 weeks ago, maybe. I haven't blocked it. I'm a nightmare with things because I really want to wear it, but it's almost getting too warm now to wear it. But anyway, this is the vertical stripes sweater, but I'm British, so it's a jumper, by Petite Knit. So it's very cinched in because it's a 4x4 rib everywhere. So blocking it all, it's an oversized jumper. But this, so it looks it looks very strange like this. So obviously this is going to be all out like this and be a big jumper. Of course, a folded collar. It then went down in a 1x1. I finished off all the cuffs and the hem with an Italian bind off. I love an Italian bind off. I must say, when you do it with, so this is obviously, I knit this. I got gauge. Look, I even did a swatch, which is very unlike me. I don't do swatches. I had like a weird couple of weeks where I was like, oh, I'm going to swatch with stuff. So this is my lovely swatch. So, which is quite good because now I know what I need to block it out to. Oh, feels lovely. So it is knit with one strand of, bear with, drops. I'm a big drops fan. I knit on a budget because of our life and things that happen in this and the other. Knitting on a budget is a must for me. That's just the way the world works, and that's fine. I love a drops yarn and the Norwegian, so it just stays with my heart. This is obviously Flora, which is a woolen alpaca at 65-35. Lovely, lovely wool. My daughter and my husband can't because even they get the itch off of it. So that's fingering 4-ply held with, again, drops. These are the colours I used. Don't know if you can see. Oh, that's quite nice. The kid silk, which is obviously a kid. Let me just say this properly so I don't sound like an utter doofus. Yeah, mohair, kid mohair. And silk 75-25. Everyone must know these already. Really lovely, very similar colours, and obviously it came out this really. It's like melted milk chocolate kind of colour. I really want to wear this. I don't know why I haven't blocked it. It's just finding. We live in a small house. Lovely. I love where we live, but it's a small house, and pinning this out on my blocking mats somewhere to dry is a mission, to find space. So maybe if the weather's nice tomorrow I can put it outside, but I just don't. But yeah, I really liked the knit. She is a brilliant designer. She makes brilliant patterns. I can't actually oh, it's a bottom up. That was the other thing, and I didn't even realize it was a bottom up, even though I had the pattern for ages. Sybil, excuse me. I have a girl dog who humps her blankets. She's in season, so it's worse at the moment. Has anyone else got that problem with a female dog? Because I thought that was just a male dog thing until we got her. Anyway, really liked it. The construction of it actually for me worked quite well because you did all of this first. And I'm like, yay, all the kind of interesting bits when you do like construction at the top and divide for this, and then when you get to like the boring kind of knitting bit, I just kind of lose interest, and then it goes in a bag and stays in a bag for months on end. So actually doing bottom up really worked for me, because yeah. Anyway, so I really like that. It was a very nice knit. Obviously the rib makes it a bit longer because you can't, I mean, it's still mindless because you can blatantly see if you've gone wrong. Luckily I'm at that point in life with my knitting where if I've kind of done a purl or in the wrong place, I can kind of just drop those stitches and fix it. So yeah, so that was my vertical stripes. I must block it and wear it. If I do that, I'll send you a picture. There's two that I haven't got with me. I'm hoping to take a picture of them and put them in here somewhere for you to see. They were two, so I've got my daughter, she's 11. Bear with. She always has a cowl, mittens and hat. So we went to like a Cotswolds based small wool fair thing a while ago, and she picked, because she does a little bit of knitting, but it's like anything with kids, they put it down for a bit and blah blah blah. So she wanted a knit hat, so she picked this wool, and I can't find the ball band. I will try and find it, but it was an Aran weight, and it was bright pink, like luminous pink and luminous yellow, not my colouring at all. And she wanted well, we got it for a hat. Her hair is like her dad's hair, so she doesn't look anything like me. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes, but her hair is just massive and curly, and it poofs out, so her hair tries to push hats off. So the only way I can make Evie a hat that really stays on her head is ribbing or waffling, but I have to make a big brim on a hat that it comes down and it stays on her head, and then she needs either like a rib or a waffle pattern, so it kind of has got enough give to kind of give space for her hair, but it kind of contains her hair. Get what I mean? Anyway, I hadn't really knit anything with an Aran weight wool before. I knit with thinner wool really, or hold stuff double. So I was intrigued to find something new to knit with and not just go with whatever. I don't know how I found this pattern, but it's a Pearl Soho pattern. It's just a classic ribbed hat. It's this one. So it's literally just a 1x1. Yeah, 1x1 rib all the way up, and then with some interesting shaping at the top. Sorry, I'm moving because my hip is hurting. And it looked beautiful. As much as I wouldn't go for the colours, actually the weight of the yarn and what the hat looked like and how squishy it was and what a lovely hat it is has made me think, yes, I should do more of that. So that was lovely. Then I knit my daughter cowls, just because I think they stay contained better. For her being a kid, there's no like dragging of things on the floor. It's just on, off with hat and cowl. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Don't have that with me either. The colour was a really lush, kind of dirty blush pink. She loves pink. I got it from, I actually found the band for it. So the dyer, I don't know if you can see that because it's Pigment and Ply. And I actually was, ironically, drawn to her because she had some real kind of dark, very earthy, almost gothic-y toned yarns, which was lovely. And then I picked up, I think it was in like a sale bin kind of thing, this 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It was what do you call it, bouchelet? I want to say bouchelet. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but the wool with all the loops in it. So I got that for her, and I didn't use a pattern. I just do a standard. I do about 1.5 inches of ribbing at the bottom. Oh, I actually have the swatch to show you, because originally I was going to make a hat with it, so I swatched with a rib to see if it would bounce back after being blocked, because I kind of thought, I don't think this wool's going to do what I need it to, as I was explaining about with the hats. I need that elasticity. So I don't know that word anymore, apparently. I need it to cinch in around her hair. And I didn't think this wool would, and I was correct. So good for me. So I just do 1.5 inches ribbing, plain knitting, especially this wool because it looks so fluffy and gorgeous. It doesn't really matter. And then 1.5 inches again, douche on it. So this was the swatch I did. So do you know what I mean by this wool? Look how and it stayed. It's been washed a couple of times. I do it on the hand wash in the washing machine with all my other socks and things like that, and it stayed super plump. The colours stayed true. It was a beautiful. I'd knit with it again tomorrow. It was so nice. I want to make myself one really, and actually this colour was superb. So yeah, really, really nice. It was just a cowl. Just imagine that, but bigger. Very nice. So that was something else that I finished. I mean, I'm cheating a little bit because they were FOs kind of in the winter time, but you know. And then what was the other thing I was going to show you? I've got stuff next to me. My bum is going numb, so if I fidget, I'm sorry. So these were my lounge socks that I made. You can see the colour there. It's kind of like a dirty pink mocha kind of colour. I also found the ball band for this. Who am I? So beautiful wool and colours actually from these guys. So Otter and Papoose. Look how cute that is. Very cute. So superwash merino dongle nep DK yarn, 85% superwash merino, 15% dongle yarn. 212 meters per 100 grams, which is quite good, I think, for DK. I wanted to make myself some lounge, what I call lounge socks, at home kind of socks. But I wanted to make the most of the wool. So for the first time ever, I found a toe up pattern, and I weighed out the yarn, like separated it and weighed it out. So it was 50 grams in each ball, obviously, because it was 100 gram ball, which I don't think I had any left over. Literally into everything. I really liked the pattern. I also tried, I can't remember what this heel is called, but it was quite fun to knit because I usually just knit the same kind of heel. Obviously, the only thing with toe up is I like a tighter, on my normal socks, I would like a tighter kind of bind off really, because usually I'm binding on. But because they're at home lounge socks, it's fine. So it's just is that a 2x1? Is it 2x2? I feel like it's a 2x2. God. 2x2 rib, all up the one side. I thought it was both. I thought I'd done it both sides on here, but I haven't. So yeah, just standard comfy cozy socks. Socks again. Good mindless. I think I knit those when I was with my dad a bit as well. I can't really remember. But yeah, so that's that. I'm going to turn the page on my notes now. Whips. Right. On the subject of socks, in my current indoor sock bag, I am. There's crazy things going on with needles in here. I have a pair of socks on the needles, of course I do. So, oh no, it's fine, we're all good. So I've just obviously turned for the heel. I have my beautiful little, don't know if you can see it. Concentrate on this, please. Okay, there's a little birdie. I love the birds. I am knitting obviously different cuff, toe, and heel. Oh, this I have gone a little bit different. I decided to do a waffle because I really liked the speckles in the wool, but I thought it would be nice to have a nice textured sock. I think I'm just doing, actually, have I carried on? No, I have carried on. So I'm going to do waffle apparently down the top of the foot as well. So yeah, it's just a standard sock. I haven't knit on it for a while, to be honest, because I've been a bit consumed with other things. So the contrast purple is a Drops Fable. I used it, I think, originally. I made some socks for Christmas presents, and I had literally this left over, which is more than enough to do what I need to do on these. And I'm trying to use stuff from Stash. She says, having received some wool literally last week in the post. What you gonna do? So this is this ball of wool with the speckles. It's really pretty. I don't know if you can see. So it's got like yellow and grey and blue and purple. Really nice. So there's I've got a kind of local to me. There's Ross on Wye. You may have heard of it. It's about 15 minutes from me. So a lovely little wool shop called, I've forgotten. I will let you know another time because I'll be in another time. But I haven't seen this wool before. So Lucas Woolen Walk. It's just well, it says it's a super wash sock wool, step into luxury, apparently. So we'll see. So yeah, it's just 75 wool, 25 polyamide. Kind of standard really for sock wool. It feels nice. It feels quite woolly actually, even though it's supposed to be superwash. It feels more woolly than that, which is great, because really you don't want to be making socks for superwash, because it won't last really on your feet very well, and I wear my socks a lot. So yeah, there's that. There is also this is another lovely bag. It's got birdies on it. Don't look at it, it's very dirty. It's also got this lovely badge on it. This is the sheep that says Cwtch. Cwtch is the Welsh word for cuddle. And as a child, my husband, he was born in Wales, but he wouldn't call himself Welsh, but he is Welsh. Anyway, they used a lot of random Welsh words, but Cwtch was one of those. So we've always said Cwtch to my little girl and stuff like that. So it's just a nice word. I am knitting, although maybe losing the season for it, but it's a good mindless knit again, actually, is I am knitting mittens for myself. This is a Tin Can Knits. I think it's a free pattern. I've knit mine and my daughter's. Most of our mittens over the years have been this pattern because it's so simple and easy, and I know it works in this wool on these size needles. It makes the kind of mitten I like to wear and is useful, and it keeps the weather out and blah blah blah. So I think it's called, I actually wrote it down, the world's simplest mittens. And obviously if you go on there, if you get that app and then you put in like the size you want and stuff, it just gives you the pattern and all the numbers you need for your size. You don't have to look for stuff, which is pretty ace. So I've just, this is looking really nice in this light actually. I've just done all the stitches to take off for the thumb, and then I'll be knitting the mane of the hand. I do a longer cuff, so I can't remember what length of cuff they suggest. I do like a 4 or 5 inch length cuff, because I like my cuff to be really far down. I don't want any draft getting in, so I want to be cutched in to my mitten as much as possible in the winter here, because you get driving wind and rain and stuff, and you just be warm. If you can be warm, be warm. That's my preferred length. So I think the pattern calls for a 3.25 to cast on and a 3. Hang on. Yes, 3.25 to cast on and a 3.75 for the main of the rest of the knitting. I've been talking too long now. My brain's starting to just go bleh. I prefer to knit a tighter fabric than that gives me. So I knit the cuff on a 3mm, and this is on a 3.5, and that gives me, actually I was looking at my mittens from last year, and I was thinking, actually I think last year I got a tighter gauge than this, so I'm gonna see what these knit up like, but I might have to knit some more, which I will anyway. But anyway, I got some really lovely wool last year. We got this one and it was yellow, and I'll show you. So this is what it is. I'll just show you the ball band. I'm not sure you're getting a very good representation of, like, I think it looks closer to what it is here. Oh, there. That's kind of good. It's just a Stylecraft, but you know, it's a DK weight. It says it's 100% recycled. Oh, you can't because this is all shining through. 100% recycled wool. When you actually read it, so it's 40% wool, 30% acrylic, 30% polyester, all recycled. Now, all recycled, I'm hoping is literally all those things I've just said to you recycled, because it does say 100% recycled yarn. So the thing that I really loved about the yellow one that we got was you could see all the flecks and flakes, which I'm assuming is all the recycled bits kind of in it, and it actually was really good because then it kind of looked like a net wool when it wasn't, and I really love any kind of net. I did get this one. This one shows up a bit better. So this is, what colour do they call this? Shade Blush. This is pistachio. This is what I got for me. I'm a green gal, if not autumnal colours. This is obviously for my daughter because it's pink. But you can see, I don't know if you can actually see, maybe a little bit, some more of the, like, there's like pink and white and blue and black, yeah, bits in here. So this looks better. So I'm a little bit disappointed that this didn't have more neppy bits in it, but I really like the colour anyway. I mean, actually in this light I'm getting more kind of tones in it, so that's really nice. So those are just another kind of bog standard, not really having to think about it, just knit on it. Then these I'm knitting on bamboo needles from Strena Grena shop that everyone goes to. Before the shop opened here, it's been open in, obviously it's a Danish shop I believe, and it's been like, there's been shops in obviously Denmark, but Sweden, Norway for a long time. So when I lived in Norway, that was like my standard kind of little bits and bobs shop to go to, because it was also very reasonably priced. Living in Norway is very expensive. So I would get knitting needles from there anyway. So before the shops even opened here, the stores opened here, and then they opened here, and I was like, oh yay, and everyone kind of jumped on the bandwagon. But you know, but they're great for, they used to do more sizes. Maybe it's because Norway is a bigger knitting country. There aren't all the sizes and stuff that they would have in Norway, but it's still better than nothing. So, and I really like those for things like mittens, random hats and stuff like that. They're slippery, but they hold on to the yarn at the same time, if that makes sense. I said I had socks in the car. I'll show you those probably when I finish them, but not before. She's pleasing at me to come up again. You coming up? No, she jumped this time. She was able to jump. Oh, you're so clever. Did you jump up? You did jump up. You're going to sit down? She's going to sit in that little bit. Okay. So that was my whips. Oh no, I have one more whip to show you. She sat on it. Thank you. Now, this is, I keep talking about Norway, but this is a wool I've had forever, and I wanted to just do something with it because it was annoying me, because I'd made it into 2 different things, started a project and then frogged them, because I was like, nah, and so I went back to the original thing that I was going to make with it. Again, it's another petite knit pattern. It's her, have I written it down? The Weekend Slipover. Now, again, it's this bubbly wool. And this was, so I've had this since Norway, and I never knew what I was going to make out of it, and I'm hoping that I actually finish this and wear it. I think it'll be a garden kind of garment rather than going out. I don't know. This was in a sale bin in Europris, another random shop in Norway, and it was 20 kroner, which was like, just say £2. I don't know what that is in dollars or whatever, but so it's an acrylic wool, which is kind of unusual for Norway, really, because even in the supermarkets you can kind of get, or regular kind of shops, you could get proper wool. It's for a size 5. It suggests 100 grams, 200 meters, which is good. Anyway, I'm in the garden a lot. That's another thing that I'm doing. I'm actually in my garden dungarees right now, so they're a bit dirty. So this is a weekend sip over. Also, big lover of Snoopy. Snoopy is my stitch marker on here at the moment. So this is how far I've got. And I've made some boo-boos, but it's my own fault because I decided to stripe it because I need to, because I've only got so much of the wool and obviously I can't get it again. And I'm not going to look for it again because I'm using it because it's there and I need to use stuff from my stash. So this is where I'm up to. This is obviously the back. You do the back with some short rows. That's why there is a bigger back. I don't know if you can see, there's a bigger bit of kind of grey here. And then I started striping. Then you pick up each shoulder and knit down, and now I've joined the front. It's a drop shoulder with just a little, it might be a bit bigger than I was thinking, but that's okay. Just with a little like sleeve cuff, because it's obviously a slip over. It's quite airy because I'm knitting it on a 5.5. I didn't gauge swatch or anything because, like I said, it's not like it's going to be a garment that I'm going out in or see much in public. So it'd just be around the garden. It's quite airy, but it feels really warm and it feels quite nice. Knitting with the wool is kind of annoying me. It splits and catches a lot, which is frustrating. But I quite like how gothy the kind of colour is, and obviously the dark colour, I don't know if you can see in there, it kind of goes to grey, dark grey, and changes, whereas the purple doesn't. It does a little. You can, I don't know if you can, I don't know what I'm doing. You can see it kind of goes. Can you see if I put it on my face? What do you want now? I don't know what you want. I'm not putting the fire on. She's probably not warm enough. So the instructions, she's stood on my knitting now. She also tries to eat my wool, which is annoying. Yes, I know. She's eating my bloody tissue out of my pocket. I'm hoping to get this off the needles quick, really, because like I said, it's just a garden kind of knit, so I'm not so precious about, like, it can be chucked in the washing machine, and but it is quite a nice knit. It's been a bit faffy because where I picked up, and I don't know if I did something wrong, I probably did, because this is my kind of, I've been trying to get through it, so I've been taking it to look after my dad on a Wednesday and Thursday because my mum works. Only I will know this and no one else will notice this, but this, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, that you know that no one else will notice, like nobody else cares, but I have one stripe, and you can't see it, but I have one grey stripe this side that has an extra, it's like 5 rows instead of 4, because this, I've done it a 4 row stripe repeat, just because of the way I knit the shoulders and then had to join across, and just where I had to start knitting from, and I got myself all kerfuffled and ended up doing, the sun is in the wrong place now, right? and ended up, yeah, having a 1 5 striped grey. And where it is on the top, and you just won't know, but I know it's there. The only way I am living with it is knowing that it will be a chuck on me for the garden and going outside, and it's probably going to get like caught on things and it's going to get ruined anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's my other, this is going really long, thank you for staying with me. That is one of my whips, and she's taken up residency on me. Acquisitions plans. Right, I think I'm going to leave the one plan for next time because this is going on longer than I thought it would. And thank you for listening to me if you've stayed for this long or come back. I did have a little random skein, what do you say? I don't know what the right word is. Skein, whatever. That I was going to show you, but I have no idea where that is now. So that's gone. I actually don't have my other wool. Oh, I have this wool. Okay, so I have this wool and I swatched for it. And actually I'm wearing the jumper. Future plans. This jumper I bought maybe like 12, 13 years ago. I know, I love you. From a charity shop. I think it's actually like a male fit jumper. I love it. It is lightweight. It doesn't go away in the summer. It stays out all year. But I have had to start patching it in all sorts of places. And I love it. I love it so much because it's just a beautiful layering jumper, and it's lovely in the summer is just to chuck it on. It goes under my dungarees. Lovely if anyone wears dungarees and they know just the trouble of finding jumpers that sit in there right. Anyway, so when I was at Wonderwool last year with my sister-in-law, it's all her fault, this whole wool obsession knitting thing, I found there's a brilliant company called Chester Wool Company, who specialise, I think, I might be wrong, in a lot of just natural bases. So they don't, it's all undyed kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you this is the wool. It's BFL, it's superwash BFL, which is great because I'm hoping it'll be soft enough, but it'll still have that hard wearing quality of the Blueface Leicester. It's an 85 Blueface Leicester wool and 15% dongle net, 400 meters, 100 grams, 400 meters. That's pretty standard, isn't it, for a fingering weight? So I swatched again. Who am I? I think you'd basically seeing all the swatches today. I have no other swatches. So this is the swatch I did. How beautiful is that? I get it out every so often just to feel it. The drape is wonderful. It's what I want. It's thin enough you can kind of see through it a bit, which is like this. And if you, I don't know if you're getting that on there enough. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to them, which is myself, which I know is weird, but it's okay. Can you see how, like, other than this wool being a bit warmer, it's really, really, I should probably pull this down, really similar in terms of the nep and my swatch, the gauge is spot on for this jumper. Now my problem is I don't know how to or what to do in order to replicate this jumper. I've tried to find, because this is obviously sewed because it's mass produced, so it's got a slight dropped shoulder, I guess, but not really. And it's sewed. You can't find a lot of sewing, I haven't anyway, sewn up patterns in fingering weight. It actually has a little folded collar as well, which is lovely. I have found a pattern and I'm kind of scared of starting it because it kind of looks a bit nuts, but there's something on this jumper when you lay it out flat. I have thought about drafting my own pattern, but then I'm a nightmare for if I start something and then it's not going the way I want it, or it's not fitting the way I just end up putting it away for ages. And I really want to make this jumper. There's some weird decreases and increases, whatever, on this. There is an amazing pattern I'll show you another time, and maybe I need to just knit it. But it looks a bit complicated, but it's a way of doing these different increases and it looks just like this. but essentially it's kind of a pretend seam and a raglan, but not a raglan. So I don't know, but I want it to sit like this, you see, and this has a bit of structure on those shoulders, I guess. So anyway, that's my acquisition plans, really. My other plan is to continue to try and empty my stash. Again, says a woman who bought some wool literally the other week. My excuse was a friend, a very good friend with her little bab, who actually did this wonderful picture for my daughter. She's only a year and a half. Absolutely tremendous. She's got a book about this bunny, and anyway, there was a pattern in the back to make the bunny, although the bunny looks a bit weird when knit up because it's nothing like the thing in the book. So, but it was a drops cotton wool, cotton yarn, whatever. And so yeah, while I was buying that, I was like, well, I need to get some other stuff because there's a sale on. And so I ended up getting some, I'll show you another time, but I got some other wool for some other plans. So yeah, it's just a lot longer than I thought it'd be for my first go. If it's been a little bit crazy and a bit too that's because I'm kind of just winging it. I hope you've been able to hear me. I hope you've been able to see everything I've shown you. I hope the dog hasn't been too disruptive. She is now asleep, snoring on me. Yeah, my little bits or my moment of aid or help for you on my first podcast is a very simple one, and it is to walk. It is to go for a walk, whether that be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, a slow walk, a fast walk, whether it's in the city, suburbs, in the forest, in the woods, in the countryside. Just go for a walk. The benefits are many, and you will feel wonderful for it, especially if you've got a day like today. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but yeah, thanks very much. Have a lovely day, week, weekend, month, but I'll see you when I see you. Bye.